Today on Is It Worth It, we're going to show you how to prep and submit your cards to SGC for grading. So we're going to go over the cleaning process, the packing process, and also the online portion to show you how to get your cards graded without any issue. First step of prepping and submitting your cards to SGC is actually going to the SGC website. It is gosgc.com. You can see I have my own account here, Brucey's_world, was actually our Instagram, so follow that. And you can start a new submission, which will be at the very top right here, or you can go right here when you're signed in. So the first step is just going to say start your order, so you want to click on that. And for the purposes of this video, we're only going to go over one card that we're going to put in the system, and that is going to be this Tom Brady 2021 Mosaic Blue out of 99 that we pulled from our video. If you want to catch that there, leave a card. And what you want to do is input the information of the card. So you want to use the hint actually that they have there on the screen. So you want to put the set year, which is 2021, and it is it's from Panini. So you want to type in Panini Mosaic, and then you want to see, and then a bunch of stuff is going to pop up on the bottom. This is actually a pretty new set, so it might not be on there, but you can try. And Panini Mosaic Tom Brady. Oops, if I could spell Tom Brady right. There we go, Tom Brady. And then on the back, you can see the number of the card. It's numbered 283. So not the out of 99, but the actual number of the card. So that is not on there. So I'm going to put 283, and that's totally okay. So this is actually a good example. So number 283, number 78 out of 99. So they know what card it is. So 2021 Panini Mosaic Tom Brady, number 283. And this is card 78 out of 99. And if your card's not on there, you're going to see this pop up. I don't see my card listed. Click here to add your card. So you want to do that. On this, you want to put the declared value of the card, and I always do raw version of it. So you can watch this other video that we did. It's actually the first episode that we did of Is It Worth It, to find the raw version of your card and what it's worth. So this card we found out is somewhere around that 150 range. So I'm going to put 150. So $150 right there. And then encapsulated if altered means that they're going to put it in something and say that it's altered. If you do that, you can uncheck it if you want to. And then it's not an oversized item, it's a regular size card. And only A means only authenticate the card. So that's usually for retro cards that you just want to make sure that it's authentic, or maybe the card is in very bad condition, but it's like a LeBron James 2003 autograph. And you want to make sure people know when you go to sell it or when you show people that it's actually a real card, but it's not in good condition, but it's still in the holder too. So it's actually good to get them in one of these, these black slabs that they have from SGC to make sure it's also protected. So in the future, nothing else will happen to it. And then you can select your card service. So crossover, if they have it for PSA for some reason, or BGS, and you want to see what it gets in SGC. If it has an old holder and you want to get a new holder, and then reviewing the card too. On the right hand side, you're going to see the order number, the number of items you have, the declared value, the turnaround time. Shipping methods are going to be at the next step, and it's going to be $30 per card. Here we have step 3. So this is going to be selecting the service. SGC just changed their prices about a week ago. And that goes from standard, express, super express, immediate. Most of you guys and most of your cards are going to be in that standard range, but let's say you pull something crazy, you want to get it quicker, then you might think about that 5 business days to 1 to 2 business days. We actually sent a card under the super express. We sent it on a Wednesday and we got it back on a Wednesday. We live about 4 hours away from Boca, so that might be a reason why we got it back so fast, but just an example, just to know that they actually do what they say they're going to do as far as like the return time goes. So for this one, we're going to do 20 to 25 business days at $30 a card. So we're going to click that one, and then we're going to click next. So step number 4 is going to be the shipping selection. So this is for the return, okay? You have to pay your money to ship it to them, which is not going to be part of this deal. This is just to return it to you. Like, how do you want to return? Do you want a US priority for 15 bucks? Do you want a FedEx ground for 25, FedEx 2-day at 45, or overnight for 60 bucks? It's all up to you depending on what you think you want. But for our purposes, what we're going to do is we're just going to do the regular $15 because that's what most people are going to do. Then on the right, you're going to get all your information. So you go card grading, number of items. We only have one as an example. Declared value here, 20 to 25 day turnaround time, which is actually pretty good nowadays in early 2022. And then USPS priority mail is what they're going to ship it back to us, which we're paying 15 bucks for. And that's about $45. The last step is going to be reviewing your submission. Please make sure that you send your cards in the order that you put them on here. So ID number 1, it's going to be this Tom Brady card, and then ID number 2 is going to be your next card. We actually have a group of cards that we're going to submit, but this is just showing you as an example, making sure it's in the order that they graded in. It makes it easier for them, so there's no slowdowns in your grading process, and you never want slowdowns in your grading process, trust me. So please make sure that you do everything right, you clean your cards right, you submit it right, and then you click here to finish. If you have a promo code, please do that. SGC, if you want to work with us, promo code Brucey's World. I'm here for it. I'm ready. But other than that, guys, just click here to finish, and then it's gonna give you an invoice. And what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that you print out that invoice and put it inside the box that your cards are actually in to send it to SGC. SGC is actually there at all business hours, so make sure when you ship anything to them, you do it with signature required. So that just makes sure that whenever they sign for your package, you know that somebody at their location received your cards, just so you know it's not lost or anything weird happened. I'm gonna show you how to clean your cards. We actually have a bunch of cards we're going to send over to SGC for grading, but I'm going to show you how to clean one of them. We have the Micah Parsons autograph already prepared, and this is the Tom Brady. I am purposely touching a fingerprint on it, so maybe we can see that in the lighting there, just so I can show you guys how to clean it. It's very simple, especially if, like how these cards are, we opened this on another video, but if you opened them yourself, you should know, or if you buy them at a card show, you should see the quality of the card and see if you actually want to get it graded. This card's in very good condition. And I washed my hands before this, obviously, so hopefully you guys do. Hopefully you guys just wash your hands in general. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a microfiber cloth and I'm gonna grab around the edges of the card, so I'm not putting any fingerprints on this chromium material, because they do pick up fingerprints. I watched the video from Jeff over at Sports Card Investors, which is really good. He went over to the SGC location. I believe it's in Boca, which is pretty close to where we actually live. And he talked to them and he said that they actually do wipe down cards, but you never want to leave it to chance, you know? So if your card can go from being a $100 card to a $300 card, or even, you know, a $5,000 card to a $10,000 card, you don't want there to be any reason why it shouldn't get that grade. So what I usually do, I've been doing it without even explaining it. So I take a little, I hold the ends, like I said, and then I take a microfiber cloth. You can get these at any store. You can get them on Amazon if you want to. And then you do like small, really light circles just to get your fingerprints off of there. And then you also want to have good lighting where you can see any imperfections. So let's say that there's a big fingerprint or there's some other issue, you'll know. So I usually start with the back, but I started with the front this time. It's not a big deal either way. And you can see that's the number out of 99 there. And you want to make sure you're looking at it with that reflection where you can see any type of fingerprint. This is, like I said, we opened this ourselves, so we know exactly who's touched this. We examined it before, and also you should definitely do that before you even go to grade a card. So you want to make sure that it's gradable. If you think that it'll hit anything above an 8, then you make sure you grade it, because usually prices of raw cards and cards that usually get an 8 are about the same. So that's why people don't grade them if they're not gradable. But there's a collector for everybody at different card levels, and also to a different price. So let's say that it was like a Michael Jordan rookie and you didn't want to pay $20,000 for it. Well, maybe you don't mind there's a nick in it because you're a collector and you just want to look at it. So, and you don't mind. So like I said, there's a collector at every price. So what I'm doing here is I'm not touching the card at all now. Those corners that I were touching, I am holding it now with the microfiber cloth. And then the edges, if you want to give them a light wipe, just to make sure there's no other that dust whenever they cut the cards, because sometimes that happens, especially in the mosaic. If you do watch that video, I hope you do. If you do watch that video of us opening this set, you'll see that there's a lot of the cut extra little pieces of like paper. So if you ever watch any breakers, you'll see that they have to like wipe off their table and stuff like that. It's for that reason. So then this card looks really good. There's a little piece right there that I can see. So what I'm going to do is, without touching the card, I'm going to take a brand new penny sleeve here, and then I'm going to carefully slide the card in there. There you go, that's a better angle. So slide it in there. Again, you can see I'm not touching the card at all. Pushing it down with the microfiber cloth. So we're done with the microfiber cloth, and you want to get one of these. These are card savers here. You can see it says on top card. I don't know if you can actually see that. It says card. Let me see if I can do that. There we go, card saver 1. We actually got a big box of these, and I'll show it to you right here. So these, you can get them on Amazon. I think I got 200 of these for about 20-ish bucks. That's what they prefer to use. Some people put these little pieces of tab on the card so they can pull it out easier, but you don't necessarily have to do that, but it is an extra step if you want to be more secure with your card. So you want to gently, without you're not touching the card at all, gently squeeze the sides of the card saver with this hand. So I'm using my left hand here, and push in the card. and it doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom, and it's just like that, right? So now it's fully protected. It is a semi-rigid card saver, so it's not super hard, so you actually could bend this if you tried, but I'll show you the next step with the packing process of how it won't bend when you're sending it to SGC. The last step of submitting your cards is actually packing them. So we have a group submission, like I mentioned earlier, and we're gonna put all these cards together in the order that we did the invoice in, which I showed you guys earlier. And now we're gonna take the stack, as you can see, like that. Again, semi-rigid, they're all in the same condition, they're all clean. You can use cardboard, because a lot of people have cardboard. I had an old project like foam core thing sitting around, and I wrote front and back so they know where to start with the grading. So Tom Brady's gonna be on top. And then what I'm gonna do is, and I measured it obviously, and then all I did was cut it, and now it's protected like that. In order to make sure it all stays together, I'm actually gonna put rubber bands around it so it doesn't slide around. So this is giving you an extra layer of protection, so you know it's not gonna slide around. It probably won't in the bubble wrap that we have, but you know, you wanna be really safe with your cards, especially because if you're sending your cards to get graded, I'm assuming that those cards are actually worth more than, you know, at least 20 bucks. So the extra like 5 cents won't hurt you. So I wrote front, remember, in the invoice, the top card so they know where to start grading, and I wrote back on the back with a smiley face. Maybe that'll help you with your grade, who knows. This old bubble wrap here that I got from another package, so always keep your bubble wrap on you. And this is a perfect size. This is actually from a different grading that we did. So this is a perfect size to slide in. And then you can tape this if you want to. So I'm gonna get a little piece of tape here. And this is a little painter's tape that we use that to ship cards. Make sure if you're putting tape on top loaders, make sure it's painter's tape. So there you go. So that's really secure. As you can see, I can shake it and it doesn't move anywhere. The box we want to use is something that's obviously you want to fit your cards in without it moving too much. We actually saved some of this bubble wrap here. So all I'm going to do is put this in here, and then I'm going to put another piece of bubble wrap on top. I want to make sure that I know that whenever I shake it or anything, it doesn't move around too much. It probably will be fine anyways, but you want to make sure you get an extra layer of security and nothing's going to happen to these cards. And also make sure, like I mentioned earlier, that invoice that you printed out from SGC when you're letting them know what your cards are is actually in the box, because that helps them know what cards are your cards, so nothing is mistaken.